Washington Irving.
Hold on, let me look at something here. Oh, yeah, I can't put it on that computer.
Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Oh, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all doing well, staying safe, eating some good food. I'm in the wrong scene.
Chat, I'm gonna be back.
We're doing
this. Go watch.
We're doing so well. We're doing this so well. We're doing it live. It's going well.
Too much stuff.
Hope you guys are doing well though. Indeedo, yes. We are all good to go. Okay. So glasses are fine. I've also been trying to figure out why my camera keeps I have to switch cameras because they're all on my other PC, and it's annoying to like reconfigure it and make sure it all works. But you know, the things we do, I just need to get another camera, to be honest. Thank you for the raid, Jesse. Yeah. So I mean, if you want to take a minute to get things set up and good to go, I know that you woke up.
I can't do both.
No, you're good.
Is it less? Yeah. See, look at how nice it is now.
Yeah.
It's all smooth and shit, but
yeah, Isaac, thanks so much for the follow, dude. Welcome.
Hold on, I can fix this.
Yeah, so my issue was that I was stuck in 720p and I had to swap it around. I don't know why
my
it was being weird.
That hold on, I think I have a scene for this. Plain camera.
And follow me with the raid. Thank you so much. Or with the follow. Thank you so much. Absolutely, one raider is more than enough,
virtual
dude.
Camera.
Doesn't have to be a lot.
Using that camera.
Okay, so the funny thing is
this. Haha, nice. Everything is flipped, though. So if I do this,
the best art rate I've been a part of.
Here, will it flip it?
The one and only. Thank you so much, Isaac. Welcome. Oh, now we. This is so funny. When I was talking to Coda, mine was flipped, so I was over here talking to him like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And he's over here talking to me like this, and we're like, "What the fuck?" It just looks so funny.
The way I'm doing it is I launch OBS, add just the camera to the scene. Mm-hmm. And then
oh no, you want it as a onesie interview, Rich?
And you can start virtual camera, and then you use the virtual camera as your camera in Discord.
Oh, that's smart.
So OBS can use, so like I can do this right now.
What the fuck?
You're seeing my output of OBS.
But this is because you have Discord on your stream PC, right? Yeah. So I'd have to swap it all over to do that. That's so cool though. You can do the BRB scene. Okay, so I might have to put a onesie on, so you might have to give me a second here.
Jesus
someone,
Christ, yeah, whatever. Hide your fucking camera, whatever.
do you want the penguin or do you want the kangaroo? What do you feel?
I'm not putting a onesie on.
No. I'm putting it on, but which one do you want? The penguin one? All right, give me a sec. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, chat. I love you guys. Give me 1 sec here. So fun fact, this camera doesn't turn off, so you casually could have just seen me naked, Jesse, just as a, you know, little wink, nudge.
I was looking at my other computer.
I swapped over. I'm like, that's me on the camera. Oh God. See, this interview's getting real personal real quick.
I'm reading about why Discord doesn't let you unflip your camera.
That's a good question. Probably extra processing power, make it as simple as possible, or something stupid. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, so for everyone that is in chat, welcome to Therapy Thursday. This is day 2, part 2, episode 2, whatever you want to call it, with the one and only Art is War. Beautiful, handsome man. I got to know a little background on him that I know of. I got to know him during the pandemic, and it's been really fun because he's like a father figure to me, especially with Charles and all of them. It's really cool. This is gonna be really weird to do in a onesie. I've never had an interview in a onesie, so this will be.
What's with the onesie?
So I have a channel point redemption where you can redeem to put me into a onesie, and it's getting kind of hot in that time of the year, so I have to basically only wear boxers underneath, unfortunately. It's just what people want to have. So I guess the whole interview is going to be conducted in a onesie because I'm not going to change at any point. So.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm old and I have to stay hydrated, so I'm going to grab some water. You're going to look at my BRB screen backwards.
Oh, perfect. It doesn't look that bad backwards, actually.
Oh, it's not backwards. Look at that. Not on your end.
Beautiful. No, it's great. Yeah, some things were flipped on Stream's end versus Discord's end, so I think you're good. But yes, welcome in everybody. Hood up. It's not gonna work with my thing. It's not big enough. See, look. It doesn't fit with my headphones. Maybe it kind of does, but it's too tight. Like this works, but only for so long. I mean, I'll keep it on for now, but it doesn't, I don't know. It's too hot for this shit, Rich. God damn it. But yeah, welcome in everybody. This is Therapy Thursday. It's not exactly the best title for what it is. It's mainly focused on interviewing friends and content creators, family around the area. And while it might not be perfect, I'm still working on polishing off as much as I can. Episode 1 will be on YouTube as soon as I can figure out a thumbnail. You need to help me with a thumbnail for this video, by the way, because I'm going to post the whole thing unedited on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a picture of Oscar Mayer hot dogs. That's it.
Should it be your face open eating them too?
I want shampoo to take my face, like scrub the VOD and find me making a bunch of different faces. And then crop my face out and put me on each of the 24 hot dogs in the package.
Or we could just do a dozen eggs and have your bald head on top of each one.
Yeah, but that's already done. That's Tim.
That's true.
Hot dogs are kind of bald, right?
I don't know if bald's the right word that I would use for hot dogs, but I think it looks good. And Jesse with the 22 months. Thank you so much, handsome.
Shitter.
Yeah, so the onesie's new, but well, good morning, Sally. Okay, so I'm going to start it off nice and simple because I figured out a way to put these on screen. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Give me some background on what you did before streaming.
I have a mouthful of Starbucks breakfast sandwich.
You're good. This will be a very impersonal. I'm in a onesie. Go for it.
I know. I'm old. I'm 31. I am a camera assistant. That's like the main day job because it's super lucrative. I've lived all over the U.S. What else about myself? I started streaming and getting into Warzone and all of that because of COVID. And what the fuck else were we gonna do? It also kind of was like the main other thing to do that in my sobriety. So like it was streaming and playing games were the main new hobbies, and they've been with me the whole time and they've been great.
So this kind of ties in with question 2 is where did you get the name Art is War? And then as a double barrel, why did you choose Warzone?
Art is War, I made. I distinctly remember the day and where I was when I made the name. Like I came up to Albuquerque from the small town I went to high school in New Mexico, and I was like, I gotta be relevant in college. I gotta be connected. I'm gonna make a Twitter, and then I don't know where actually the name came from. Like I don't remember the thought of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put these words together and that's a name. But that's when I made it, and it was a Twitter, and then shortly thereafter, Instagram became a very ubiquitous thing, so it just moved to there. And actually, I had a different name on the platform on Twitch, and it just really didn't roll quite as well. So when I finally decided to seriously stream and not just like do it and try it out, I was like, I really got to change off this. And
now we got to know what's the original name.
Hold on, it's in my chat.
I know you have a VOD of a couple old ones of it, right?
I'm gonna post. Yeah. There's some clips. I'm gonna copy paste it in your chat. Invisible HJ of the market, which is a joke about capitalism.
That almost has the same energy as like Tony's. Is it Epic or his old Xbox name or something? Whenever he plays Rocket League, it's like his old name, and I'm like, I didn't know so many people had old names that they swapped to when they started making content.
Well, yeah. I mean, originally the idea was I was gonna keep like gaming stuff and like my real life stuff separate.
Right.
And I just do this so much now at that point that I was like, well, I don't care. I mean, it was a good name.
I think it's a good brand compared to trying to put out, what would you call yourself? Invisible or Market? Like, I don't, probably Jesse at that point.
Like, dude, like, what are you going to do there?
It would only be Jesse at that point.
Yeah.
For question 3, so this you kind of explained it, like, but what drove you to streaming and rather just gaming online? Like, what was the swap between just playing with friends versus actually wanting to like record yourself and stream it to the world?
I didn't. I also didn't answer the other. Why Warzone? I don't know. It was popular. I don't know. I just kind of picked it. All of like I'm a big researcher.
Brand new to it, Isaac. This is the second one.
Warzone was like, yeah, there's a lot of people playing it. And I was like, cool, that's tight. Can you ask the question you just asked? Yeah.
Why did you start streaming? Yeah, like why not just play games with the homies and move on? Why record it?
Because I really hadn't engaged with streaming as a viewer or anything pre-COVID, and I think it was unique during COVID because everybody was here. You know, like people that wouldn't even have known about Twitch were like, well, I'm bored as fuck. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And I saw like, I'm also like painfully aware of how much the internet played into how the last, what year is it?
2022. I mean,
How the
like
last 6 to
2018.
8 years have, how internet communities and their kind of hidden nature and their gatekeeping have directly contributed to the political climate in the United States.
Oh,
And
okay.
they've been co-opted and like bastardized and used in order to like indoctrinate a bunch of disenfranchised youth into some fucking weird, like, I'm Jordan Peterson, all I eat is beef, it made me better. You know, like, somebody else has to be out there saying something else, you know, because that guy's a fucking idiot.
It's so funny because I don't side with his dietary things, but there are some things that
That's the danger of Jordan Peterson.
Right. Well, for me, it's more of like, I don't care who you affiliate politically or religiously, whatever it may be, but like double check what they say. Just because they say it with a strong voice and a good volume doesn't mean they're correct. And some people think that.
This, if you take part in the doom scroll, like on shorts anywhere, YouTube, Facebook,
right,
there are these collection of pages, specifically on Facebook, that are like weird. They just go around clipping scenes out of context in shows or movies that like confirm their like weird Sigma male capitalist bootlicker beliefs. You know, they're like, and then they put the same like weird Bollywood electronic song behind it and the drop hits. And you're like, wait, no, that guy's just being a dick. Wait, hold on. What's going on here? Why are we praising this?
But it's
I'm confused.
Good editing. That's what matters. There was a,
and it's from a page called Financian or whatever. Like, that's not a word. Are you trying to make it sound like you're a physician of finance? Because also that's fucking lame.
Like, well, it's that mindset. It's like, what I want to make something new and brand new. Like, I don't want to put like finance advisor 127. You know, you want to be like throw some things to together. Screw it.
Yeah, or you want to be like, I don't know, dude. I don't understand this obsession with fucking like Sigma grind set. Like, Gary V goes to garage sales and buys Pokemon cards and flips them, and look at all this. He's so, you know, like, dude.
There's a
chill out, bro.
I don't know if you follow very many like high quality. I don't know if it's a high quality meme, but there's like the one where it's like the fake porno with the girl who's like, oh, you gotta clean my pipes, and he's like, ma'am, I do my own plumbing. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have a different one with like she's a genie, and he's like I can grant you 3 wishes, and he's just like, you know, I'm more of like a Sigma male. I like to grind for my things. I don't like being handed shit. Like, it's just not my kind of thing. And I'm like, huh? Because there's actually somebody out there like that. Like, they would be like, I wouldn't want the genie, but I want to work for it. And I'm like, what the hell?
Well, that's just they have.
Thank you so much for the raid, bro. Welcome, everybody.
Their own myth. You know what I mean? Because, you know, multiple times in my life, I've been like, oh my God, I have figured out. I understand. And then like that truth that I've worked so hard to carve out and figure out disintegrates. And I'm like, oh, there are some people out there, specifically in the United States, that are not adaptable. They just don't understand that life changes and things change.
I hope your stream was well.
Things are different. And they're like, nope, my beliefs. I can't look in the mirror. No, sirree. Get that mirror away from me. Ooh. You know, and they start like, no, it's like when the boss, you give them bad news and you start to see their eye twitch and they're like, thanks so much. And you're like, oh, that's not an actual thanks so much.
Or when you try to call off or you try to schedule off like a month in advance and like, oh, we need you that day. It's like, you have a team that you have here, like, call on them.
Particularly bad amongst men in the United States. You know, it's like there's just this.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's go.
You know, like, not in our community, thank God, but like,
yeah,
this fucking Sigma grind set. I want to be a landlord. Like, okay, dude. Okay.
Landlord. I barely knew her.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. It's like people from my generation and younger that are still trying to like recapitulate their parents' dreams. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, yo, dude, that fucking 2.5 children, a Corolla, and a 2-car garage house in suburbia, probably dead for you, dude. Like, honestly.
Yeah, even one kid nowadays, like the price of them is crazy. Like just housing. I mean, just being with your partner and you and your partner, like it's a crazy amount of money. And then you're like, oh, let's throw 2 kids inside. It's like, good luck. Good luck, dude.
Lol, Wolfie in chat says those Peaky Blinders damn YouTube shorts. Yeah, exactly. You get through the doom scroll and then before you know it, there's like, I wish I could find that song. It's like some fucking electronic song, and it's Jordan Peterson going like, "No, you don't. Women and men are different. You don't understand. I eat beef every day." And then it's like, like he said something bad. Like, nah, this, like, if I heard this guy talking in public, I'd probably go, "Oh God."
See, but that's the thing.
Suit?
Oh, because he's got to look good every day. Like,
no, it's because he's teaching you how to lick boots. Come on, kids, get on your fucking knees. Lick those boots. Respect authority.
just work harder, man. Just work harder.
Him and fucking Joe Rogan, dude. Joe Rogan actually used to be interesting and have interesting takes, dude. Hey, I'm gonna be a landlord too, chat. I'm buying this house, but you don't have to be a fucking slumlord. You know what I mean?
I think there's a big difference between landlord and like being a douchebag about it. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna be able to afford my mortgage, but I'm also not gonna charge above. I'm gonna charge under market value for the rooms in my house for friends of mine that need it.
Right.
That I trust and know will pay.
And like, well, that's the difference. Like, I heard about people that were, so I was in an apartment a couple like towns over here because my buddy was out in California with his girlfriend. So me and my ex-girlfriend at the time, or girlfriend at the time, we lived in there for, I don't know, a month or two. And like rent was $800, $900, it's a little pricey around in here in Indiana. But nowadays we're talking $1,500, $1,600. I'm like, well, how the hell do you pay for that?
In Indiana,
in
dude.
Indiana.
All y'all got is flat and corn.
Well, the issue is that because we're so close to Chicago, people would rather drive out here and spend $1,600 and not $2,000. It's like, well, fuck off, dude. I mean, we don't make that.
That's the only reason I'm considering buying the house, because like if I'm gonna start working again and start getting fucking income on paper to qualify for a new living situation, why would everybody's moving from LA to Albuquerque? Or
right.
I mean, Albuquerque is a hour and a half flight from Los Angeles, 6-hour drive from Denver. You're like, it's like the west suburb in a lot of ways.
Right. And you can kind of go wherever you want. It's kind of in the middle of everything, all the fun.
When I first moved here, there was this like student ghetto section of town, right?
Jesus,
like right next to the
that's
university.
expensive, dude.
That's where I
one
lived.
person?
We partied there like a motherfucker. It was great. There are these apartments there called the Melrose Apartments, and they're absolutely like slumlord apartments. Like, height of my memory of having friends live there was waking up one morning to this orange glow, like this shimmer through the window, and being like, we partied. So I was like fucked up, and I was like, what is going on? And I look out the window in the center. So it's like this giant, it's like two brackets, right? And then in the middle is a parking lot.
Hello.
Yeah, it's called gentrification, 100%. It's a big L. Get out of here with your Tesla. This is New Mexico, dude. I'm used to seeing cars on blocks around here. Get the fuck out of here.
That's true. That's true.
And I looked outside, and a car in the parking lot was on fire. Like this, like some meth heads just like lit a car on fire.
Wait.
Okay, so when I first moved here, those apartments were they were 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartments with like wood floors, both bedrooms upstairs, living space downstairs. Those were $550 a month. Wow. They are now $1,800 a month, and they have not been upgraded whatsoever.
Nope. They just charge you more because they know they can. Well, like that's the thing. Like I know people complain about inflation.
Owns that probably makes TikToks about being a landlord.
Yeah.
Like fuck that guy. Yeah. And that guy's like, he's probably like, man, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna add it to my Tinder bio. Girls are not gonna be able to handle it.
Like I don't get the mindset of like, if I just keep charging it, eventually someone will pay for it. But it's like, why don't you just go down a little bit and lose 5%? God, you lose 5%. Oh no! Like at least somebody can live in it and survive and be sustainable. God fucking damn.
Yeah, that's why we gotta have a little thing called regulation, because it turns out a bunch of fucking shitty dudes running the economy don't have any kind of fucking humanity.
No.
Or ability to be like, maybe I shouldn't fuck over these people.
No. And especially when you look at like, that's why I'm excited for our generation, because so many things change so quickly. And even the mindset of like, my dad talked to me about like, what are you gonna do for the rest of your life? I'm like, I don't know yet. He's like, you gotta figure that out and like find a job and work for them for 30 years. I'm like, 30 years? I barely worked for Pizza Hut for 5 years. Like hell, I'm gonna work for the same fucking company for 30, dude.
I think those kind of things are over. But I mean, the conversation that we're having right now is exactly why I started streaming. Like,
right.
I'm a pretty smart dude. I'm good at mediating and speaking to people. And I mean, my politics are not hidden. So I don't know. I
think my wall's a bit more laid back.
There's plenty of loud voices on the other side, and so I aim to be one of the loud voices on this side. But from
absolutely.
a realist perspective, like,
oh really, Volvi?
Like
I do delivery near me,
but they're just so polarizing and astronomically huge that there's no, I mean, I don't know who looks at Hassan and is like, oh yeah, the working man, you know?
Or like XQC or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know.
I would say the ideal big streamer that was like working was probably Ludwig. I think what he's created is very interesting and diverse for like the top of the
super
top.
Smart. Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
I like watching him. Just yeah. His
I don't know.
politics are
I don't know
spot
if he edits his own stuff, but it's very interesting the way that he makes his videos, because like whether it's the editor or what he tells the editor, they're very, very like-minded, and that's why it goes so well. And I think that's why his YouTube videos are such a huge fucking hit. I mean, he's hilarious, don't get me wrong, but like what he's doing is very different, and I love that. Moving forward, this is gonna go for Fig. What is your favorite memory of Fig, and do you have any other prior pets to her? Just to kind of bring back the political debate a little bit. Like, was it when you got her? Maybe she got into some like the trash or something.
Well, I mean, I rescued Fig from like a local pit bull rescue, and like the story of getting her was pretty funny. So I actually adopted a different dog originally, and it was like a giant, and they were all pit bull rescues, right?
Absolutely, Isaac. It's horrible out there, dude.
The one I got was like huge, and I was just moving into like a shared house situation with a bunch of cats, and I'm like, the must for the dog was that they get along with cats. Well, first day having this dog, I give this dog a walk around the neighborhood, and this dog is like probably 4 times Fig size.
Oh, really?
100+ pounds. You know,
I scared shitless.
Huge. I mean, he was sweet, but just drooly as fuck. I mean, like a head this big, shark, and just slobber. And we're walking, and this cat crosses the road, and he takes me flying. And I'm a big dude. Chases this cat down. Like, I'm pretty sure maims this cat. I just hear the cat running away like, I'm like fucking
scared
terrified.
For its life.
So it's like 1 a.m. I just got off work, and I call the rescue and leave a voicemail. I'm like, I don't think this dog's gonna work.
I need to place a refund, please.
I told him like what their focus is putting dogs in situations where they'll thrive, and I just don't think that group situation that I was living in, they're all cat people. You know, there's just no way. So I took the dog back and was like, look, I'm sure you guys are gonna find a house. This is not it. And I was like kind of sad about it. I was like bummed out. And I waited 3 weeks, and my girlfriend at the time was like, you should just go look, you know, you never know. And then I went and Fig pawed me from the cage. She was like, hey, hi. Stuck her little paw out.
You seem pretty cool. Yeah.
I actually have a video. Hold on. I think I have a video.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please. But did you have any prior pets at home, like before you moved out or anything, or no?
Yeah. I mean, I've had pets my whole life, pretty much.
That was the one thing I've really missed out on. Like, Wheezy is the only like pet that we've ever had at our house because everyone's allergic. And now that we have a cat, no one's allergic. It's really weird.
Oh, let's see here.
Let me see if I can make you bigger too. Hold on. Nice.
That's
she's so small.
Tiny Fig, 6-month-old Fig. Look at her. She's so small.
She's so small.
Oh.
Her little eyes are like, it's so bright out here. I love her.
So small.
She's so cute.
I mean, she still looks the same, just larger. You know?
Do you take her for big walks outside, like around the towns?
Yeah.
I feel like she absolutely loves that shit.
I mean, she's got a big old yard, but usually we'll go out.
Yo, what's up, Savage? How we doing, handsome?
Really nice, like nature.
Afternoon, beautiful. Good morning, beautiful.
Where we are, so there's like a huge ass, like dry waterfall we can go up, and she's really lazy though. She like makes it halfway, and she's like, "All right, I'm over it."
It's a small thing. I love her. She's so cute. So this is more of like a mindset question, but how do you think stream has affected you outside of the job itself?
I'm Chad named Dylan.
Yo, Al with the gifted sub. Thank you so much, bro. 21 to the channel and to Savage. Let's go. Thank you so much.
Oh, wrong scene. Well, I thought I was
That's me again, and me again, and me again. Oh my god.
So ask that question again. I
How
wasn't
has
clicking
stream
with it.
affected you mentally or physically? Well, physically, obviously, we're all chubby now. But like or mentally outside of the job. So,
Well, I mean, like, so for example, the other night I did second unit on a show here. We were shooting downtown. We were doing nights, and I got off, and it was that nothing time. It was that nothing time. You know, you get off work at any time after 10 p.m. Everything's closed. People are like, you can't start streaming at 10 p.m. No, 10 p.m. Mountain. That's midnight Eastern. You know what I'm gonna do?
some people start at that time.
Yeah, I know. But they're like they're trying to fucking sweat their ass off, and they do different things than I try to do on Twitch.
Right, right.
And you know, that was like prime. That would be prime time for me to be like, oh yeah, I want to drink, and I definitely had the thought. But it has created for me like a community of people. I just played games offline, and it was like the streaming and gaming has been like a.
Hey, I'm glad you're having a good day,
healthy
Savage.
hobby
Let's
for me,
go.
because my upbringing, I didn't really like. I grinded the fuck out of my life. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, getting out of high school was going to college was my ticket away from my household, which was not like a stable or happy place. And also in high school, the way I stayed away from that unstable, unhappy place was working and going to school.
Right.
So if I went to high school and then worked until 10, guess what? I was annihilated. Like, I was tired.
You just feel like
so
shit
tired.
too, because it's such a weird schedule.
Yeah, but mainly I'm too saturated to pay attention to life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was the strategy. And I kept that going for so long. COVID was the break. And now streaming has been like the reminder, you know, like that it's okay to do things for you that you enjoy and that you're good at, that maybe don't have like a practical usage, you know, like before I would go to school so I could get away from home and work so I didn't have to rely on anybody.
Right.
You know, and so now, I don't know, having streaming, it's improved my communication skills for sure, because I'm just communicating so much all the time.
I would even say, like, at least from like my point of view towards you, I don't know if you were a comedic person before it, but you're funny as hell now. I don't know if that was just like your personality. Yeah, yeah. But I think it's the fact that you could just zoom in on your face and go blah, 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 you know, and just immediately the comedy's there, you know.
Well, it makes my other day job so less appealing, you know, like, I mean, for a lot of reasons, that's why people like having me around, and like, honestly, the film industry, you only have to be like 60 or 50% proficient. After
Right.
that point, you have to be likable, because they're long days, and I don't know. So I think streaming, at least the way I've done it, has been a practice in being likable.
I agree.
And not like contorting myself to be likable, but I don't know.
Well, it's almost
I
like
think I've
when
done pretty
you're-
well for a dude that like openly advertises his leftyism in Warzone. You know what I mean? Like, we have very, very few shitters that come in and try to fucking stir the pot in that regard. And I think that speaks a lot for my ability to communicate and like welcome people.
Right, and I also think that even if people aren't on the left side, we can all agree that like being a bigot and a piece of shit are just things that you shouldn't be. You know, like whatever political affiliation you are.
Ultimately, my goal, I don't give a shit what football team you like, dude.
Right,
what
right.
I want people to understand is that we're a very wealthy country that has its priorities up its ass.
Oh, absolutely.
And that European countries have figured out that including social safety nets in their culture is a way for them to increase the quality of life for the entire country.
Yep.
America refuses to figure that out. And it's a very planned effort, you know, because there are a lot of people making money off the fact that we don't have social safety nets.
Yeah.
Nothing stops this train.
I've got a handful of like, not political questions, but just like pick your brain. And I know they're gonna be really, really good just for later. But I'm just like, it's just on the, you know, think about it when we're getting there.
Yeah.
Oh, did this not work? Oh, there we go. Okay.
And I would say playing Wars. I talked to Balti about this the other day. Playing Warzone and streaming and all of this has definitely made my decision making better, and like my ability to handle a lot of information at once, specifically at work, like when things get stressful.
Right.
I just feel a lot quicker and
what's weird about it, Wolf?
Sharper.
I can double check for you. I think I mean, some people like will bash on people. It's like, oh man, streaming's so easy. It's like, but is it though? Like, have you tried to like talk to 15 people at once while playing a game, while trying to rotate, while giving good comms, while double checking overlays, making sure your bit rate's good, your resolution's fine. Like, it's so many things at once that people don't really think about.
And streaming is like, depending what you're streaming, what game you're streaming, what category you're streaming, it's a lot of different things. But I mean, time and time again, what I've found on the platform is that you have people that are interested in being streamers, and you have people that are interested in being good at the game that they're playing.
Right.
And oftentimes that's the disconnect. Like the whole disagreement that happened recently with the Demon Dog dudes. Like there's a clear
mobile's really weird
amongst
sometimes.
whatever their organization is. People that are interested in creating a community and being content creators and being a member of like a content creator community, and then people that are interested in being good at the game.
Right.
People that are interested in being good at the game have zero interest in any kind of like sustainable social practices. And honestly, most like out of the Shifty situation, the saddest thing about that is that nobody stepped in and was like, dude, you're making an ass out of yourself.
Right.
Like, regardless of what you did, you need to check the way you're speaking to people in public.
I mean, it would have been, it was an ego check. I mean, you see a lot with these smaller 2v2 streamers,
Or somebody needed to come in and be a peer and just be like, so many times people are like, oh, you're bad, I hate you. Mm-hmm. Like, what if somebody was like, hey, dude, like, this is a bad look and you kind of look like a shithead. If Iceman Isaac came in and sent a DM and was like, look, dude, that kind of thing. Like a established peer, because he's a kid, dude. He's 18, man. Like,
I think what it was almost like a cult. It was all the pro players bashing on him rather than like even if this guy's completely blatantly cheating, like I'm not even like picking sides. Like, just give him a chance. Like, what if he is the best player of all time? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I get he's being an asshole about it, but
yeah, I mean, regardless, he could have made it. It was a great opportunity. It was all a PR stunt for him. He got his name on the scene.
Well, absolutely.
I don't even know how many viewers he pulls right now. For a while,
he's almost a partner. He's almost a partner, I think.
Is he pulling reliable viewers? Or
it's always 50 plus every time I pop in. Like the thing is for me,
could have capitalized and kept 300 the whole time if there was a. So he gave us beat 1, right, of the story. Oh, Shifty's cheating. Is he cheating? Isn't he cheating? Oh, Shifty put blast on blast, right, on Twitter. And then he just kept doing the same thing. He kept hitting beat 2.
Shifty TV,
2,
Lucy.
Beat 2.
Yeah.
And nobody was there to step in and be like, look, dude. Like, because to me, it's clearly a PR stunt. It's clearly, I'm here to get everybody to talk about my name, which is fine. I get that. Do I think something I concern myself a lot with in the streaming scene, or at least for myself, is sustainability? You know what I mean? Like, specifically, that's why I took this fucking whatever disagreement with the Demon Dog so seriously. It was because there was a dude that reached out and gave me a very nice, concerned, and well thought out response. Right. I'm not gonna throw dirt in his face for that. I
also think like the interaction you had with him was very different than what you've had with them in the game. And I think
there's optics there. So one of the final responses in that thing was like, somebody that was watching your stream saw you read these DMs and you had a very different take. And my final response, which I've not had a response yet, was like, dude, these are DMs. I'm trying to be cordial. Frankly, I'm fucking over it, dude.
Right.
Like, I don't even DM people I'm dating this much about issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just like, stop.
I think
and that kind of behavior is not sustainable. Nobody knows who the Demon Dogs are, and I'm not saying this as a dick. I'm saying this as factual. You have under 3 figures of followers on any platform. You do not want this kind of shit happening for your optics. I'm a mid-level streamer. People adjacent to me have heard about me talk about it enough for you now to have damage control.
Right.
That wasn't my goal. That wasn't my fault. Mm-hmm. That was y'all's fault. So if people stopped caring about how good they were at the game and started thinking about how the people that they associate with and themselves speak to people, both in large and small, you might see greater success.
Absolutely.
I 100% attribute my success on the platform because I don't have a big platform anywhere else. I don't have a huge YouTube. I don't have any of that. I just stream.
Right. My
success on Twitch has been either A, being nice to people and helping them with things. Like I got a DM from Cuddy the other day about light. That never did me any benefit. I didn't do it for a benefit. I did it so that somebody established in the scene knows I'm a knowledgeable person that's willing to help for nothing.
Yeah, and
So
some
then
people
in the
might
future,
step in
if we're
for
all
like
playing the big game, at least this guy knows who I am,
Right.
knows I'm nice, and is not going to be like, Art is war. Should we invite him? No, they're going to be like, oh yeah, Art, he helped me with the lighting. Get him in here, you know?
yeah. Because you're
That's
not looking for that
sustainable.
gain. Like some people look for that gain.
I'm just trying to be a nice person.
Right,
Give and not expect. And that usually it's like if any like capitalist bootlicker in the chat wants to learn, like wants to look at the Wikipedia article about what I'm talking about, you fucking weirdo. It's called egoistic altruism, and it's like a real thing. Helping others helps you. So if you want to fucking Sigma grind set something, go look up egoistic altruism and then fucking chill the fuck out. Like,
I think the most interesting thing that me and John talked about this because it happened. I'm not going to say names, but it happened a couple of days ago where like they ran into somebody and like they were bashing on him off stream. It was like 1v1 me, pussy. It's like, dude, like I get it. Like you're upset. It's a video game, but like sometimes we need to take a step back and realize that we are playing video games on the internet and being paid. I think sometimes people just get like so caught up in our generation that's like, oh, it's the thing, it's the new thing. It's like, but take a step back. It's like you're not gonna get big bashing on somebody. I've never met you in real life. I've never talked to you outside of the game. Like I get that you're pissed, like, oh, we stacked you once or whatever. Like whatever. It's just unnecessary for your stream as a whole. Like if you're live and you go into somebody else's stream on stream to bash on them, what does that set for your community?
Yeah,
it doesn't set anything good.
In that most recent interaction, like the first thing, I went back to the VOD because my memory is dog shit and I wanted to know what happened. And homie came in and levied like some judgmental thing, like, wow, 31 and shooting bodies. Like,
right.
Does that indicate to does the style of communication presented to me immediately from this new person present to me the idea of somebody who's willing to meet me in the middle and have a discussion? Abso-fucking-lutely
Oh,
not.
no.
And then they're like, but this is typical I don't go to therapy male bullshit, you know?
Right.
Like it's like gaslighting, manipulative, codependent bullshit. And unfortunately, guys, I'm not dating you. So
damn,
I just need you to stop.
Is that space open though?
Like,
just asking for a friend.
Go to therapy. You know what I mean? Like, just go to therapy. Don't use my chat. Then another guy rolls in and he's like, yo, man, I'm at work, but my boys tell me there's something. Like, what? Am I watching West Side Story right now? What are we doing? Like, get out of here. Stop it. It's like 31, dude. Like, this isn't fucking... I'm not meeting you outside the fucking 7-Eleven after fifth period, okay,
This isn't Greece. Like we're not going to go fight outside. Yeah.
Jesus, man. Like, what kind of... You watch too much Peaky Blinders, bro.
Some people like that. Like, that's the scary thing is like they don't understand how weird it is, I guess is the correct word.
Dudes I meet on the internet, I just think about all of the poor women that have to swipe on them on Tinder, dude.
He's probably got a fish picture.
Like,
he's fine.
I'll just give him it's a fish picture. Or like my favorite thing, the favorite meme. I mean, the whole Supreme Court thing is terrifying, but yeah, get rid of the Supreme Court. But my favorite meme that has came out of it is I forget what the bit was, but it was like Twitter opinion about Roe v. Wade, and it's a picture of a bunch of like bald white dudes with goatees and like wraparound sunglasses. It's like, well, actually, it's amazing how my body, my choice was so easy during the fucking vax thing, but now that it comes back around, everyone's like, oh.
So apparently during the pandemic, a very big crisis across the fucking world, people weren't having babies. It's almost like we didn't go work, we didn't have money or anything. So we had more deaths because of the pandemic than babies that were coming in. Right? It was a huge thing because of. Capitalism can't flourish if more people aren't being born. You can't make more money without more people, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit of a connection there between the whole Roe versus Wade thing going on right now, where things are like being limited, bodily things are being limited. It's like, but why is that lining up so well after all this other shit? Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's just old money's been pushing for those policy changes for years, dude.
And it finally got through.
Well, the left
slowly
has
getting
absolutely
through.
fucking nothing to do, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking limp dick bitches, bro.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, the Democratic Party is a bunch of fucking wimps and a bunch of crooks too. Like, Nancy Pelosi fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fucking nightmare. I accidentally sent a political meme to Pants Gnome the other day because I tried to send it to one of my homies, but it was a picture of all of the ladies from Handmaid's Tale. Mm-hmm. Like the row of them in the red gowns. And then it was the same image twice, like the row of them and then the row of them. And it was the future Republicans one. It was just the row of them, and then the future Democrats one. And it was the same photo, but there was a photo of like Seattle police, but the Seattle police was like gay pride colors. That's about sums it up, dog.
There ain't much there. Ain't much there.
They just want gay police.
Yo, what's up, Koala? So this is gonna come back a couple years, a little bit of a throwback. What do you think your biggest mindset shift was from high school until now?
I mean, in a lot of ways, I'm 31 now. I think I just like I'm like stable and calm and like with it for the first time in my life. You know, first time in my life. I didn't have like a very my young years were bad. So like. I was running in high school and I kept running, and I think running led to my substance abuse and all of that. And
like chasing the next high almost, or
no, running away from things.
Oh, I thought you'd been like physically running. I'm like, there's a good runner's high in there. Yeah.
No. Just like running away from things.
Yeah.
And I'm just like not running away from things anymore. Like it's exhausting, and you find yourself making decisions that aren't informed by yourself, but instead informed by your anxieties, which are like not part of you.
Right. There's actually a question later for that, so like, I'm excited about that one.
I didn't have like a lot of self-worth in high school, and now I do. And so those are two huge changes, you know, as somebody who's like bullied and like all of this as a young person. That's a huge mindset. It's a huge mindset, because you just don't, when you're that person that's willing to take shit like that, you don't realize how much of your life it affects and in what ways it does. Like it defines like what kind of love you're willing to accept, and like a whole bunch of stuff.
It's how you view the world too. You always view yourself as like lesser.
I joke a lot about going to therapy, but like, I don't know. There's just like looking back, just like looking at this whole home buying thing and how much I worked and what I did with the money that I made when I was working before, like pre-COVID. I don't know. I mean, I just stopped running for the I don't know.
And so many people are afraid to face whatever problem they have at hand. It's like they just think if they keep running, they'll eventually get away from it. They'll never have to deal with it, and they'd rather do that than turn around, face it, and learn from it. I have a question about mistakes towards the end. I just want to.
I think I'm less angry as well, probably. At least
like more accepting of how the world is, or
yeah. I mean, I would get. I'm less like I don't rattle the bars of life's cage so much anymore. Like I'm just more accepting.
Right.
But that comes with age, I think. Not for everybody, but like some people I don't think ever get to where I am.
Right. And then this comes right after high school. Why did you choose, I believe, cinematography, or were you actually film in general?
Know, dude. Because like my generation was definitely still raised on the myth that you go to college, you get a job, and you get out, right? But I didn't want to do that because I didn't have like anything. I don't know. Like at that point, I don't know how I made. Like at that point, my focus was get the fuck away from my father.
Right.
Honestly, that was it.
So did you go away for college then, or did you?
Yeah, I went to. So I grew up 4 hours south of Albuquerque.
Okay.
I went to high school 4 hours south. So when I moved, it was, far enough.
Right.
Like that's a drive. And like my mother's in the medical field, and for a long time, my parents were like, "Oh yeah, you're just gonna do that." And I don't know. Like I guess the summer before I graduated high school, I got my hands on a shitty little like DV camera. We shot like one BS short film that we made up on the spot. I was like, damn, this is actually like kind of fun. I was like, I'll study it. I don't know what the fuck else I'm gonna do. And I did it, and then I don't know. I just started learning. I taught myself all the technical stuff while I was in school, because my schooling was all theory. Really, I didn't really get any kind of technical
until you're like junior, maybe even your senior year. You don't get that.
Well, and the school that I went to, like UNM's film program, they just introduced this other program called IFDM, Interdisciplinary Film Major, IFDM or whatever, which was more aimed at like getting people into production. But I have always been like a very technical person and like able to teach myself things. Like I was taking shit apart when I was a kid and putting it back together. Like, I don't know.
That's why you're tinkering with this shit.
In the original Home Alone, the original Home Alone, there's that little tape recorder thing.
Yeah.
I got one, totally disassembled it and reassembled it.
And it worked?
When I was like, When I was like 8. or something, you know. And so I've always just been like really spatially technically oriented. So I'm glad I went to school and got the theory stuff, because
it's interesting because some
you
colleges
can't
don't do
teach
that.
yourself the theory stuff,
Right.
you
Well,
know?
like some colleges focus so hard on the theory that once you graduate, you have no idea how to actually apply it to a real world scenario.
Well,
and
that's
you
how
get
most
screwed.
that's how most people that went to my college experienced it, I think.
Right. Well, it's that's for all colleges. I mean, like most of them don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately though, like college is bullshit in a lot of ways.
Yep.
College, like if you want to learn a vocation, go to a technical school.
Yeah,
I
especially
think
if you're
most
hands on.
young people these days, instead of going to college, like if you want to take a break after high school, I absolutely think you should. But just like go learn while you're taking that break, like take a short course and learn a trade.
Yeah.
I have a trade. I taught myself a trade. Like I know camera, I know video. I've turned that into a lot of things. The reason why my stream looks so nice is because of my trade.
Mm-hmm.
Go learn a trade. You can take that anywhere. If you hate it, put it in your back pocket, learn another one. And then maybe after that you can go, like college should be the knowledge polishing. College is not like the instruction on how to have a career, you know?
Right.
But it is an insanely lucrative, high interest rate business. So that is why we're all funneled into it. Now, yeah, I taught myself all the technical stuff, me and a friend, because we were frustrated with the fact that we were only getting theory. I'm stoked on the fact that I got theory, because theory gave me the knowledge, or it sharpened my knowledge and my word set to be able to talk about art and to talk about like movies in like a semantic way.
Sorry, I made a note for myself. Keep going. Sorry. It's true though. A lot of streams look so good because of Jesse. Good plug. Good plug.
Oops.
Yeah, especially because like when I was thinking about, like, even if you don't know what to do with your life, find a skill that's like slightly interesting to you, but like you can use in a household. So whether it's electrical, whether it's like some type of small machinery, plumbing, cooking, I don't know, some type of welding course, like anything small just to get your foot in the door. Like so many people don't understand that getting your foot in the door is the hardest part. Like I had to make the decision of when I was second semester sophomore, like my scholarship that I got paid to go to school, like forced me to pick a major because I was undecided. And I was torn between business, which I was like, oh, business is a bunch of bitches, I don't want to go do business. So I went to communication, and then like towards the end of my last year, I was like, this is really freaking cool. Like this is what I want to do. And it kind of tied back with streaming and just like being networking with people, interviewing people, and I was like, damn, this is exactly what I was actually searching for. And I wouldn't have found it, one, if I didn't have that push to like try it out. But at the same time, if I didn't have the push, I probably would have found it, 5-10 years down the line. And that's okay.
Right.
There's no need to like, everybody gets there when they get there. But I think people are just so scared about taking that leap. And that leap usually in your younger years is okay. Like if you have for an example, like an investment of like, I don't know, a couple $100, maybe $1,000, like you can make that money back, but you can't make those memories back later on sometimes. I'd rather spend the money now, try something new, and if it doesn't pay off, I learn something and I can move on from it, And so many people are scared to like take that little leap and try out something new, because if it fails, now I look like a bad person. But it's like, if you don't fail, how do you know how to succeed? How do you know when you've succeeded if you haven't failed enough times, It's like good with the bad. You can't feel good all the time if you haven't ever felt bad. The highs get lower and lower, and you have to keep getting higher and higher. So you gotta balance both and figure out what comes next. So, so you said you're 31, right?
Yep.
What would you tell yourself at 26 years old? Like an important quote, important memory, a good mindset. Welding might be useful. I'm not 100% sure. I've never had a chance to weld though.
Because like, would I listen to myself?
Exactly. But like, if you can go back into the future and your younger self could tell you, right?
Chill out. Just chill out, dude. Just take it easy.
Hi, Kenny.
Yeah, chill out. I don't know if that would have really been heard though.
Oh no, I don't think it'll be heard too. Like if I told myself 5 years ago that you're gonna be streaming and doing something your own thing, I was like, who the fuck are you? I wouldn't have believed myself.
It's crazy to think it's crazy to think that I was 26 5 years ago.
Sometimes I forget that I'm 22.
My life was very different.
Right. Same here.
I don't know. Yeah, I would just tell myself to chill out a little bit, I think. I don't know that I would listen to that. Yeah.
One
There's
of
a lot of
the
things that I wish were still. There's a lot of things that I wish I could save. From when I was 26.
like physical things or like memories.
Yeah. But yeah.
One of the biggest things for me was when I was 17 5 years ago, and I have a really big quote from a poem when my big girlfriends at the time broke up, and it was really really hard because in one of the lines I was like 5 years from now I won't remember the color of her eye, and I don't now. And like at the time it was like really really big, like, oh, I'm so madly in love and I'm super heartbroken, but like thinking back I'm like, holy shit, I don't, like I would have told my 5 year younger. I guess I knew 5 years from now I wouldn't, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess, but at the same time, if I like try to give my younger self a hint, I don't. Does
wouldn't
that
have
take
taken it?
away from the? Does that take away from like the veracity of the truth that I now hold in my hand?
well, I'm not saying it would be true. Like I'm just saying, like, if you could tell
No, I
yourself,
know. Yeah.
right, hypothetically,
That's why I think I would say something like I shy away from something super specific.
right.
Like I would say just chill out.
Hi, Chris.
Don't,
Hello. Don't overthink it. Just kind of let it go and keep going, kind of thing.
Yeah, like kind of just like give myself a break, Just I was so hard on myself for so long and I worked so hard and didn't think I did, which was like such a self-defeating narrative that I
Right.
would like try to be like, I don't want to steer my 26-year-old self away from the decisions that I was making, but I would maybe at least try to give that 26-year-old person a bit of a break.
Well, I mean, even just like patting yourself on the back, like you're doing what you need to do, like you're still kicking ass, you're still pushing yourself. Maybe it's a little too much, but like just knowing that somebody told you like you're doing well is also important. I think so many people get caught up in that mentality of like you're on your own and nobody's going to support you or like commend you for what you're doing.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know that 26-year-old me would really hear
Right.
my advice, because I'm sure there were people in my life that were saying that and trying to get me to do that, but I was just so
like tunnel vision on it. Yeah.
And that's why the idea of running away, because I was just like, when you're running, you're focused and you're not like, you kind of look behind yourself every once in a while, but like you're just running.
Yeah.
Past things, through things.
You don't even notice them half the time sometimes.
Yeah, so that's why, like, I don't think, like, even if I stopped myself at 26 and I was like, look, dude, chill out. I think he'd be like, who the fuck, get out of my way,
How about at 41? Where do you want to be from now? The house is coming around. Are there kids on the menu?
Dude, I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. At this point, I would love to get out of the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so like toxic. It's not, I don't know. It's just so like hot and cold. Like you're working and then you're not. And you're like, and I don't like, I make very good money.
The crazy thing is, I bet you wouldn't be in there if it wasn't for the money, right? Like if you take that dog shit work hours and you cut the pay in half.
Yeah. And there's no way I do it.
Exactly. And it's like, that's what's so crazy is that everyone has a price. Like no matter what you're doing, there's always a price for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's scary to think about.
It's a great tool. I mean, I'd love to use the business to like pay, like get this house and pay it off. Like I could definitely see fucking working my ass off for, maybe
Another
4 or 5 years,
yeah.
really hard, and just getting like owning this house, and then just like chilling, dude, moving into, I don't know.
So, but you said you told yourself 5 years ago you wanted to chill. Is that worth hauling ass for another 5 years?
Well, with how I am now, I think so. You
kind of push yourself back a little bit, to take a couple days off. And
it's just like now I keep going back to that running away from things thing, but like now that I'm like, if you do a sprint and you stop and you kind of collect yourself, you're like, oh, okay, I'm in a totally different place than I was when I started.
Right.
I'm out of breath. I'm like gathering my surroundings. That's kind of, it's always a balance of that and applying yourself, which is the running, the grinding, and like So before I would do the other, and I would never stop, and I would always sprint. I would never stop and look at where I am and like take in my surroundings.
Mhm.
So I think it's just like a balance of that. There's a lot of people that just go full into one thing, you know, and don't have any kind of balance. And it's because it's a lot of work. You want to just throw on autopilot, you know?
Yeah.
But like, maybe I don't take all the jobs. Maybe I just work for, you know, like I signed up for a job July to November. I don't think that's gonna probably, like, if I get this house, that's probably gonna be enough for a long time.
Oh, so you're talking like a couple months at a time and then take a break, a couple months at a time, take a break.
Yeah.
And it would give you time to try streaming too, like just little
try to
breaks.
make it more sustainable that way.
Mhm.
You know, just like, I don't know. But yeah, this industry, like if I'm 41 and still in this industry, I don't know if I've made a collection of good decisions.
I think one of the, because this just hit me, I graduate on Saturday, but one of the people that were in my classes was like, oh, I was watching Better Call Saul, and I was like, I know somebody who worked on the set, and they were like, what? No way in hell you know somebody who worked on the set. I'm like, yeah, his name's Jesse. Super cool guy.
Ooh, I'm getting a phone call. 1 second.
Go ahead. Chat, I wanted to thank you guys so much for popping in today. Again, we are interviewing Jesse, Art is War, for Therapy Thursday. This is part 2. The first episode with Drakota is going to hopefully be going live at the end of this week. I'm trying to figure out a thumbnail to make it perfect and get it going, but no way you do. Yeah, I was like of all people, like I know somebody that actually worked on it. Yeah. But but thank you guys so much for popping in today. I know a lot of you are lurking. I know a lot of you are part of the fun of being here. It's hard for me to read all of the chat questions. I apologize. Because like, again, part of my degree is like that one-on-one aspect of actually interviewing, but I'm also trying to figure out a way to add comments into it. At the end of it, we've got 5 more questions here after this one, 5 more. And then any questions that you guys have for Jesse, whether it's stream related, life related, mental health related, anything at all, you guys are more than welcome to ask. So if you want to start typing them out in the chat, I can start copying them to the document. One question that I have specifically for him outside of these questions is, if we learn from our mistakes, why do you think we are afraid to make a mistake? That's just one that I have in the back of my head that I wanted to ask him towards the end.
I wanted my vaccination status for the show I'm on.
Hey, let's go. You clean?
Oh, yeah, I'm triple boosted and got it after the 3rd, so I think I'm good.
Whew, that's rough.
I'm gonna shit out a little baby Alex Jones or something.
Jesse, why are the frogs gay? Oh,
fuck that guy too.
But it's a good meme. It's a good meme though. I have to think, it's like, as bad as a person is, there's a couple good memes and there's some good that came out of it. So this is on the topic of streaming. What is your like top 5 tips for brand new streamers? Like, what do you recommend they do?
I mean, there's always the basic things that you see in every video. Like you have to act like there's always somebody in your chat. People are like, there's nobody comes to my stream. You have to act like there's somebody there, because 1, viewership doesn't update. 2, if someone comes in and clicks your stream, the viewership doesn't update, and you're just doing this. Hold on.
You have to. It's a lot of. It's more like this. It's like you're here, and you're like, all right, good stuff. Got on me, pushing. All right, good stuff.
Who wants to watch this?
Oh, buddy.
Who wants to watch this?
I mean, if it's Bobby Poff, I'd watch it. You know, just because.
Well, and also, like, I don't know. Like, do you, dude? Like, for anything you do creatively in life, like if you try to be someone else or do something else or like copy this, you could be inspired by other people. But like if you try to be like, I don't know, Tim's a big inspiration for like the way I approach streaming, but if I tried to be Tim exactly, I think that would be pretty see-through.
Right. I think so many people get caught up in, and like we talked about it earlier, are you a streamer or are you trying to be a pro player? Right. And if you're trying to go on the streamer side, finding your niche is hard. Don't get me wrong. It took me 2 years to find this. But like taking steps towards it, trying new shit, trying new games, single player, horror, multiplayer, brand new BR, like try different things, try networking it and figure out what works for you.
Well, yeah. And you have to just do what you like. You know, that's what I mean by like, you have to put yourself, there's a creative talk that I like a lot, but he says you have to find yourself in a position where you're doing you. Mm-hmm. You know, he talks about an experience writing on a TV show for someone else, and
Wolfie, I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. Good luck on the TFT homies. The new update comes out soon, I think.
None of them were ever as good as the lead writer's work, because that's because all of them were trying to write as the lead writer instead of writing what they know and their experience into the story, And if like Jimmy Kimmel can't be Johnny Carson.
Right.
He can't do his best Johnny Carson. He has to do Jimmy Kimmel. You know, like that's, you have to just put yourself in a position where you're doing you. So I always focused on, like, everyone's like, oh, play controller on stream. Oh, do this, do that. I don't want to. And ultimately, if I don't want to do it, you guys aren't going to want to watch it. That's just how it goes. Like,
Ooh, good luck
even
on
if
Masters.
it's like
Oof,
something that causes
that's hard.
me rage, and people like to watch me like freak out and rage, it's got to be within a set of boundaries. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like, so like, one, you got to do what you like. Two, you have to speak like somebody's always there. Like this tip helped me a lot, and I think it might have been like a COVID unique thing. And some people are like, "Oh, that's such a bad tip," but I posted every time I went live for a long time. I put my link in other streamers' self promo channels all the time. I would put it in J Gods. I would put it in Isaac's. I would put it. I think those were the two big ones.
Exactly.
And you know, that probably got me maybe 4 or 5 people. But like, every person that you get in there is going to bring somebody else, probably.
Right, or
Tell a friend,
or
at least
they'll raid you next time, or, you know, like little
right,
things
and then
like
that's
that.
the other one, is like, if you're really like, streaming is so much about networking, and
Right.
that was what I was really good at because of the film industry, and that's what I brought here, is like the community of people that we play with, that building that, not saying that I was the only one that built that, but like putting that in the world that I was looking for people to play with, and there were other people looking to play with, and now we're both looking for people to play with, and now we have this group that's doing it, you know.
Yep.
That kind of networking is really community building. And so, like, if you're just starting out, you find other streamers that are slightly larger than you. It's called +1 networking, which sounds really fucking scummy, but really it's a great way to meet people who aren't going to be like, oh, asking to play in chat, you know, like you just find other people that you vibe with. Like, if you like hanging out in this person's stream even a little bit, and they're about your size, or maybe have 5 to 10% more viewers than you do, raid them, hang out in their stream, and hang out in other people's. An important part when you're just starting is hanging out in other people's stream as a viewer, and not doing the, oh, by the way, I stream. Oh, by the way, I stream. Oh, by the way, I stream. You know, you don't do that. You hang out and just be a member of the community.
Right,
you know, and then raid. That's how you tell people you stream. Do not tell people you stream. The only way you tell somebody else in their chat if you stream is if someone in there knows you do and they ask you how your stream was.
Mm-hmm.
Or you raid. The only 2 times you say, hey, I stream, in someone else's chat.
And the other thing is that people don't, like, the people think that when I raid somebody, like, it's an instant follow back. It never happens. Like, you get maybe one or two. It's like, oh, I didn't know you streamed. It's like, but now they do. And now you can talk about it in your stream because it's kind of like an invitation, you know? Obviously, be within your, you know, whoever you ratings regulations, and like not promoting it, whatever it may be. But I mean, like, your name in chat is clickable after you raid, and then somebody can check it out. And if it's something they vibe with, they'll very happily come into your stream, you know? Yeah,
and it shouldn't even be for like a follow. It's just, you want people to know your name. Yep. This is how you become known in the community. The only reason people know Art is War is because of the ways in which I've interacted with the community. I like helping people with camera stuff, answering technical questions, accidentally playing games with people like Tony, you know, like all of those things get the ball rolling for you. But all of those things were not me being like, hey, you want to go on a date? Hey, you want to go on a date? Hey, you want to go on a date? I just, you know, just chill, dude.
Right.
Happen. Just chill. Don't rush it.
I think some people just forget that. Recap on your top 5 tips real quick. Or however number you had. I think you had 3 big ones, but like if you've got a couple.
Like people are always, stop buying cameras and shit before you buy lights.
Oh, that's a good one.
Turn off your fucking overhead light. Not you, but like in general. Like, oh, Jesse, you stream in a cave.
Okay, it's off. Okay, sorry.
You stream in a cave. Like, the best thing if you're wanting, like, how do you make it look better? Turn off all your lights and start there. Right. And add 1 light. Turn off all the lights.
I need to, like,
that's
crop.
How you make it look good.
I promise there's a black screen there. I promise. You can't see it.
All webcams are probably the same. Here, okay. So this is the last tip. All webcams are probably the same camera, honestly.
Really? You think so?
Well, they're at least
Like
the same.
very close.
They're at least the same sensor size, and that is what defines image quality overall.
Right.
So, like, if you're looking to upgrade, don't just go webcam to webcam. You know, like, there are certain webcams that are better, like the Elgato Facecam is going to be a larger sensor.
Right.
But, like, honestly, there isn't a screaming difference. Like, here. This is a $40 webcam. Granted, it's not super well color corrected right now, but I don't think this looks any different than a Kio.
Is that lamp behind you always in the stream? Like, go back to the other camera. Can we ever see that one?
Which one?
The one directly behind you to your left.
Yeah. Well, it's behind me.
I never see that one. Looks fucking sick.
The yarn one?
It's like a diamond looking thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's two lampshades together.
I've never noticed it. It looks
wrapped
really
in
cool.
yarn. Yeah. Yeah. So chat like there's somebody always there. Don't go to other people's chats and tell don't go to other people's chats and tell them you stream.
Like self promo, yeah.
Yeah. The only way you tell somebody you stream is if somebody in that chat says, "Hey, how was your stream?" Because they know you stream.
Right.
Which happens to me sometimes. Or you raid, and then they're like, "Oh, that's how you tell somebody you stream." Right.
I never saw it, Lou. I'm so mad. It looks good though. Any others that come to mind, or it's I just said
top line
5 to shoot
cameras.
it. Yeah, don't lights first before the camera.
Lights first before cameras.
And even like try testing your for me, listen to your VODs. Like go back and listen to your own audio, because I feel like so many streamers get caught up in just stream. But like as soon as you go back and actually watch your streams, is it something that you would watch? Because some people it's not.
Look at your volume. Look at your all those things. Like there's so many little. We max min loadouts. You can max min your stream easy.
Right. I mean, so many people get caught up in like one scene overlays galore and then like they stream. But it's like audio is very important, because as soon as you like, having a good eye-catching stream is off, because people will click in. But if you sound like no one's gonna fucking watch that. Like nobody's gonna,
honestly, So go watch this. This is, I mean, I'm the video guy, but I know am very well aware of the importance of audio.
I think we have an audio guy in chat actually.
If you go watch a YouTube video, go watch a YouTube video on 160p. Right.
See how bad it sounds? Yeah.
No. Just watch it and listen.
Oh.
And then if you were to take that same YouTube video and lower the audio bitrate to like tape quality, like 28 kilobits a second, and watch it in HD, you will gain more information from the previous video. The lower video resolution, higher audio resolution video will contain more understandable information. If you're trying to learn something,
right, than
the high res low audio resolution version.
This is actually a question for, I mean, I don't know how this works for like at least YouTube. If you lower the resolution, that lowers the audio too, right? But is 480?
I think there's a floor.
Right.
So
160 is not like dog shit, but like 480 and 720 are very similar audio levels, right? Like
what I mean is, like, I think once you go to a certain low quality on YouTube, the audio stops decreasing in quality.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know. I think it's probably all the same, honestly.
I mean, you're not far. I mean, it might be 48 or 24 is probably the lowest at like 160p. Like, it's probably the lowest floor of like audio levels.
No, it probably doesn't go lower than 128, honestly.
Really? I could see it being like 48 or something.
Is like the bottom of the
56.
barrel audio standard here, I think, these days. Luke can correct me, but
I don't know. I was just curious.
128 is like the lowest any kind of, like, even like digital ads on like Pandora that are super low quality or something sometimes are going to be 128.
Right. This one is more. Oh, I forgot to number this one. Shit, did I number this one? Okay, I did. I forgot to. This is me being a bad streamer. What life lesson did you learn the hard way?
Which one?
I don't know. Name a couple. You wanted me to hit you hard. You don't want to look at these questions.
What life lesson did I learn the hard way? The stuff that you put into your body actually affects your brain, dude. You know, like I'm a very smart person, and some of the substances that I fucked around with when I was younger gave me a stutter and affected my memory.
Right.
That's like a very real thing.
The other interesting thing is, again, not promoted by G Phil, but I'm drinking one. Sucralose gives you pretty bad headaches that I didn't know until me and Charles started talking about it. And I started realizing that I actually get them because of sucralose.
Yeah.
People think that artificial sweeteners are just like, oh, it's no calories, it'll be fine. But like,
No, your body still understands sweet.
right,
You can
and
actually
it
still
messes with you.
develop diabetes from non-sugar based beverages that are sweet.
Right. So Lou says that at 160p, Dylan's streak is 180 kilobytes per second video and audio included.
Oh God.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's Twitch. We're talking about YouTube here. I was talking about YouTube.
YouTube
Twitch
might have a
is-
much higher feed.
Twitch's video platform. Sorry, Yamant. Twitch's video platform is a fucking joke. There's probably mega churches with better video platforms than
I
Twitch.
wonder if it's because they cut costs that way. Like the reason why it's 6,500 is because it's cheaper.
It's Justin TV was bought by fucking Amazon, and then literally no infrastructure changes have changed. Like nothing in
Really?
the infrastructure has. Yeah, that's called capitalism, bro. Everyone's like, oh, the free-handed market's gonna breed innovation. No, it's gonna find the fucking cheapest way to keep the lights on, dude.
Mm-hmm. It would be nice to have like a 10K bit rate or a higher resolution, or
It's 2022, dude.
Yeah.
I can stream on YouTube. I can stream at 44,000 kilobits a second.
Your internet keeps up with that shit,
could
bro. I
see
barely
my-
have
no,
24K
no,
upload.
My internet would not keep up with that. I think I have 12 up. That's another vestigial organ of the fucking free hand job of the market fucking us all. Like I have options because I live in like pseudo population center. You probably have one internet service provider.
Comcast.
And they can charge you whatever the fuck they want for their
Comcast.
bullshit service.
I pay 150 for. Well, the issue is that to go from 24 upload to 50, it's an extra $100. Who the fuck designed that shit? I don't want 800 down. I want like 400 up. Like, give me some like scaling here, dude. What the fuck? Or just put fiber everywhere. That works too. I'm fine.
Yeah, we're not going to do that, dude. Have you driven on American roads recently in non-population centers? It's like
Well, the craziest
Brazil
thing is
had
that
nicer roads.
where Coda lives, down his street, like a 10-minute walk, they have fiber in the entire neighborhood because it's new. It's a new neighborhood, so they could installed it from the ground up. But he doesn't have it because they're not going to install it into that neighborhood. But I'm like down the street, there's fiber by me too. Like, you want to just come on? It's expensive to install, but it's cheaper and it pays off. It's like solar panels. It's an investment.
The government has absolutely zero interest in subsidizing any kind of digital infrastructure for its citizens.
Right.
And even if it did, it would just become that fucking rat race of contractors. Like, oh, I got a buddy we can pay to do this, and he's actually to do a shit job because he's gonna try to make the most off the contract that he's getting. You know.
Right.
Yeah, I have 500 down and like 12 up or something ridiculous. Like, dude, I don't need 500 down.
Same. I think ours caps out around 850 down. And I'm like, what do I need that for? Like, I get it. We're a household of 7. We all are on the computers all day. I have a mining rig downstairs. But it's like, give me a little bit more upload. Like, I'll trade 50 down for 50 more up. That's fine.
Bro, I'll trade 250 down for 50 up.
Well, sure, absolutely. But like the issue with Comcast is because of net neutrality. If 800 is too high and they're losing money, they'll just throttle me down to 400 or 200 or 150 or something. Like the days where there are times where me and Coda both stream at the same time and one of us will get like nuked and we can't stream. And like we're on completely different like protectors, like the completely different brackets of Comcast. But because of the way the upload is so low and it's limited by Comcast, they will literally cut off whoever is streaming higher. I think he's at like 7,000 or 8,000 kilobytes per second. I do 6,500 and it still caps me out. There's times I'll go up to 24K and then it'll go right back down because it's like, oh shit, my bad, we didn't mean to do that. It's like, fuck off, man. Give me the 24K upload. That'd be great. So this is Back to the Past. If you had a chance to go back in time to change something, would you do it or not?
No, probably not, unfortunately.
No, really?
Yeah, there's like I love. Yeah. Like, especially with like the potential house buying thing, I wish I could go back when I started working in the film industry and making good money and be like, look, dude, don't drink all this money, don't party all this money,
right,
buy a house, and then you won't have to work. But like, I don't know. I'm exactly where I am because of a whole collection of things, and I doubt we overestimate our ability to clearly see how things affect other things. So, like that human naivete, I think if I went back and changed something, I don't think I understand like the ripples of changing that thing. So I would probably just not.
Right.
And this isn't like I've watched fucking Butterfly Effect too many times. I just like, you make a decision and then like 3 years down the line, something happens and you think about that same decision and you kind of think about how, You, at least I do. You can spider web those decisions, you know, like you can see how one you made 3 years ago kind of led you here. So
Right.
if I was to go back and change something, I don't,
How would it affect you, your mentality?
yeah, I'm also like past that, personally, like I don't have a lot of anger left for things that have happened. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I wish I could go back and tell the younger me to chill the fuck out and focus up, and then you could have like a nice midlife.
Stable 30 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also forgot to number this one. Damn, I'm terrible at my job. What is a quote that you think everyone should live by?
Before you say something, you can ask yourself 3 questions.
Mhm.
Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it kind?
I like that.
Easy.
That's where you plug the Mr. Rogers. It was a perfect time to plug the Rogers.
I don't know if that's a Mr. Rogersism, but that's like definitely something that I came up with, or something that someone told me that definitely stuck.
Right.
Is it true? Is it helpful?
I know,
Is
but
it
I feel
kind?
bad because it's supposed to be numbered down there.
You can look at a lot of people that rabble rouse and shout things,
Right.
or even let's look at the thing that we talked about earlier, the demon dogs thing.
Yeah.
Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it kind? The first thing that guy came in and said was like, "Oh, 31-year-old shooting body." True.
Right.
Yes. Helpful? No. Kind? No. So, don't say it.
Oh, it's a good way to live. I think mine is oh geez, I just forgot it. I have it somewhere.
Actually, I changed my answer. Live, laugh, love.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
I'm kidding. Fuck that face. When I become
I let it
supreme
slide.
overlord, I'm gonna create an edict where we go to everyone's houses, we take those out, and we burn them. all the live, laugh, love placards.
It was like, break me with the truth, but never comfort me with a lie, is one of the quotes that I live by.
That's a good one. It's kind of the same thing. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it kind?
Yeah. Well, because for a lot of people, like, at least when I was growing up, it was like you would sugarcoat things, you would lie behind doors. Like, a lot of the stuff that happened with my mom and dad was just like behind a closed door. I never heard about it except for the screaming. And like once I got older, I finally got the other side of the story. And it was like, because of the things that my dad, he was working full time, my mom took care of the kids, and that's how we split it. But my mom painted the picture of like, your dad's a dumb piece of shit, like, don't even worry about him. But when I got older, I finally realized that this is why like, you guys established it many years ago, and that's why he works 80 hours a week, you take care of the kids 80 hours a week. There was no balance, there was no like trying to do 40-40 or something, you know what I mean? So I never got that side of the story until many years later, and then I got to hear his side, and it was like, I can kind of understand. I mean, would I have accepted it as a 7-year-old? Probably not. But now that I'm 22, I can see why both sides are important to things, for anything, for life, for that matter. Like, you want to see both sides to any story, because I think if you shut the door and you just don't care about what the other side is, you're not going to learn from it. And if you take everything that somebody says as truth, you're not going to learn. You're going to be in a very sheltered area, just of life in general. So I think people should really take pride in fighting for the truth, finding the truth. Like, for me, it's a concept of, even if you know the Earth is spherical, like, you know it's a sphere, prove to me why it's not flat. Like, why not? Like, prove to me, like, just go ahead, have some fun, like, like, rewire your brain for a second, give me an idea of, like, why can't it be flat? And like, some people are like, well, it's because of, like, but have you seen it from space? Have you seen the curvature of the Earth? Have you been above this, like, above the clouds and seen how it curves? I don't know.
Do you know how they first discovered that it wasn't flat?
It was the ocean, right? That you can see. Oh, really?
Obelisks in Egypt. So, I think there was one in Alexandria, and then there was one further south. And they noticed that if the Earth was flat and the sun was in the same position, then there should be no shadow, right? Like, there is just neutral shadow.
Right.
But what they noticed was that Alexandria, the shadow was shorter than the one further south.
Oh, interesting.
So having a longer shadow further south indicates the curvature of the surface on which both obelisks are located.
I always thought it was the concept of just looking at the other planets and stars. If planets and stars are spherical, how can we be flat? How can they rotate around us if we are?
Yeah, but see, that's such an informed modern way to view it, because you have information about the stars. You have to think about back before all of this knowledge was available.
Well, even like looking into the sky and seeing the moon, right?
Yeah, but people thought we were like Mercury in retrograde is a misnomer. It's when we didn't understand
Silly.
the rotation.
I am
of
a
the
flat
planets.
earther.
We
I just
thought
like that. I don't know.
Mercury spun
It's
around
the same
and
with
went
religion.
backwards in the sky, and all what it was our rotation and orbit relative to the rotation and orbit of Mars,
Right.
or Mercury rather. And so it's not actually in retrograde. It's not moving backwards. It's our relative position to it changing.
Right. It's also just scary to think how recent that the maps were changed to not be flat and the globe actually exists. You know, it was created. It wasn't a map anymore. It was actually a globe.
In the scheme of things, yeah. it's a
500
very short
years, I
time.
think it was like early 1400s, 1500s, which is like, you know, but it's the same with like religion. Like if you really think that after all these years, after all these, you know, evolutions have gone through, that your God is the only real God, I don't know, dude. I got nothing to help you with. Like, you can't idolize, or you can't think outside the box. Like, I was asking one of my buddies who was super religious. I'm like, okay, he's a very diehard Christian. I'm like, okay, let's say you die tomorrow and you go to heaven and you're greeted by Hades, Zeus, and Poseidon. Like, what's your mindset shift? And he's like, I'd just be happy that I'm not only down there with Hades, you know? But it's like, he had the idea of like, okay, maybe if my God's not real, and they're like, let's say the Roman gods or the Greek gods or the Egyptian gods, like, just whatever, you know? Like, just because you believe in a God doesn't mean that all gods aren't real because of that.
Does your title say once he wakes up?
I didn't know you were awake.
I was awake!
You didn't tell me. I literally messaged you. And I got no
I check
response.
my notifications. I have ADHD.
I was gonna like ask for your phone number to like wake you up.
Oh my god.
Hello, Zoe. Zozo. Zoe mama. Okay. So, moving forward, Mr. Awake Man, are there any other comments or quotes or any other additional information you would love to add to the whole thing? Your experience with this, was it a good time?
Any dude in the chat, specifically people playing Call of Duty, stop referring to people as females. Just stop. They're women. It's women. It's not females.
I like dude and dudettes. Those are my
there's
favorite.
a lot of things. Just stop saying females. One, you're excluding a bunch of people. Two, it fucking sounds weird, dude.
Right.
Like, you're not, I don't know who needs to hear this, but like, just stop it. It's fucking weird.
My favorite is when they're like, but they are females. It's like, yeah, but you wouldn't go into a game of Wars. I'm like,
but
there's
like,
149 males in here.
Yeah, but it's an exclusive, like, yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, especially in our world.
It's exclusive of a lot of trans people, and it can be a very hurtful comment to some people. So just stop saying it. Also, I don't think if they're like a cis het woman, I don't think that they appreciate it either. You know, like, I don't think any like cis het woman loves being called a female. Like, traditionally, I hear that being referred to when people are talking about like animals. So just stop it.
Like female dog, or it just seems kind of demeaning. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just real objectifying.
Right.
It's just interesting how like every male American just like slides into objectification so easily. It's funny.
Is that
crazy.
a gamer girl?
Wow.
Like, I don't know. I like the idea of what is it called? When like Finn, how she's Big Papa Peen. I think that's funny as shit. And I'm not gonna call her Big Papa Peen, not knowing that she's like, you know, she calls herself that. But like, I think it's kind of interesting that like it's a woman as a male like vocabulary. I don't know, which is weird to say. I like it. I think it's more inclusive.
I'm on a soapbox.
I think
right now.
mommies
What
is
else
also
can I
kind
tell
of
a kid?
predatorial. Like, hey, mommy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I mean,
that's a little. I like
it's
girls though.
definitely- Like, if we're looking at a Venn diagram of greetings and cat calls, that's definitely somewhere in the middle.
Ay, mami. Yeah. It's like you see a Latino woman, you know, like that's like their first go through. Yeah. It's kind of like, Poppy and I don't know. You don't, hey, Poppy, you know, like, you're not going to open up with that.
Yeah. I mean, oh no.
So this was a question that I had in the back of my head when I was writing this morning. If this goes for all experiences I've ever had, if we learn from our mistakes, why do you think people are afraid to make them? This goes for all chat. If you guys have any
Western
questions,
culture puts an emphasis on not failing, you know?
Mhm.
Or at least, like, you never hear about the quiet years, right? Everyone talks about fucking Daddy Musk and all those people. as great successes, right? But they don't talk about all of the things that got them
failed
there.
up until it. Yeah.
There's a great speech that Charlie Kaufman, who's a screenwriter, he wrote Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Adaptation, Anomalisa. There's a bunch of great movies he's written. He gave a speech to BAFTA, which is like a British Academy, and he talks about failure a lot. Like, he's not a very successful writer or like immensely successful in the film industry, but that's not what he's interested in, because the film industry is not really interested in his stories, which are like stories about real people and about real life, and it's art. He writes art. He doesn't write lasers and dragons and superheroes, you know, that it doesn't sell. And so he's very well versed in failure, you know, and a lot of the people I respect as artists who are not ginormous celebrities talk about failure a lot. Bob Odenkirk's new book talks about how he was fucking broke making Mr. Show in the 90s, and that's like what he loved doing, you know. Right. He was absolutely broke, and getting the Saul character on Breaking Bad saved his financial life. Right. But you know, it's not something that like necessarily he loves doing, or is like he loves writing. That's what he loves to do. But
I think that happened with Dwayne Johnson too. Like when he first got into it,
pay the bills.
Right.
And I mean, anyway, Charlie Kaufman talks a lot of failure is like a badge of courage in a lot of ways. You've been willing to take the risk, and I think a lot of people are scared to have that hurt. Mm-hmm. You know, and my life has been, I'm not trying to be like, oh, but my life has been one very familiar with hurt, and it's given me an ability to just fail. Like, I'm fine failing, you know. There's very few things that I view could be as bad as some of the things that I've already dealt with. So why not just try? Yeah. You know, because it could be really good. I
think it's also just society as a whole.
Yeah, like, I mean, especially like TikTok, Shorts, the internet. Everyone's successful. Everyone's happy. Everyone's blah, 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 blah. You know, and you have to understand that that's not actually the reality. Like, people have very dynamic lives that happen outside
Mike.
of
What's up, dude? How
the
you doing?
social spotlight. And people think that if they're not threading the needle perfectly, like the person that came before them, that they're failing, and they don't want to fail. But you have like Ninja became Ninja because he tried a bunch of stuff that didn't work. You know, it's not just like you just have to fail. Like, you're not going to do anything. It's just risk reward, you know.
Yeah, it's the same with professional players too.
Gambling, like, you know, like, if you don't take risk, if you don't put yourself in a position to fail, you're not going to have that kind of, as a former addict, you're not going to have that high of succeeding. You know what I mean? If you don't run the risk of failure.
Absolutely.
And that's anything in life. Like, there's a lot of relationships that I've been in my life that sure are over now and have failed, but those are experiences and skills that I add to my life because I was willing to fail. Yeah. And it's not something to be ashamed of. In fact, I think failure is something you should be proud of.
Oh, absolutely. And in so many relationships, people think that, like, this is a failure, this is terrible, like, I absolutely fucking hate you. But it's like, think about how you've changed because of that. Whether it's a good or a bad way, you've learned things, or there's new experiences, you understand things in a better way. Like, even if the failure ended in a total like, a terrible way, burning flames, the book's closed, whatever. Like, you've still learned things that you use to this day. Even if they're small, maybe you go to a brand new coffee shop. Maybe you have a brand new bar you'd like to go to. You met your love of your life because of your ex, you know, like little things like that.
Yeah, and I think it's like a uniquely Western culture thing to be obsessed with the ends, you know, and like, you miss so much of the means along the way. Yeah, I don't know. As I get older, I find myself wanting, like, I don't need like a final product out of things, and signing up for the experience and letting yourself do that oftentimes is a lot more important than getting to the end of the sentence,
right?
So to speak.
This goes out to all collective chats around. I don't know if you're still streaming. If there are any other questions you want to ask Jesse, I know that he's very open on stream and, like, very happy to answer them. If, you know, if we conclude this and there's no questions now, ask him on stream later, ask him on stream a year from now, whatever it may be. But this is like your time to ask him something more personal. It's a more vulnerable time. Absolutely anything at all. My biggest thing is like a thank you almost of like not just being on here, but like being yourself. So many people get caught up in having to put on a persona, put on something for stream, and be something they're not. And obviously, whether you're cheating, whether you're being somebody or not, you're impersonating somebody, eventually it caves in and they're not the person you think they are. I wish I got to meet you, but I'm like 99.999% sure that you are the person that you stream on every day. And like that makes me really happy to know, you know?
I think I am.
Well, some people get caught up. Like, I know some people, like for when I interviewed Charles, when I met him, it was very different than playing with him. He was very, very open in person, right? But if you compare it to like how he is online, he takes a step back. If he's playing quads and 3 people are very, very vocal, he takes a step back and lets them be vocal. If it's 3 people that are very quiet, he'll step up and be more loud. You know what I mean? Like, he's very good at adapting the situation. Whereas like when I met him, he was the life of the party with me, Tony, and Christina. It was fucking hilarious. I've never seen him get more excited over an old fashioned before in my life. He was like, "Let's go!" Like, I haven't drank in a couple days. Like, let's go. It's probably my like weeks or anything, but he's very good on fitness. But he was a very well-mannered person. He looked younger than me and Tony did, which is incredible at 41 or 42 now. But it's just very interesting. Like, meeting somebody in person is very different than playing with them on a day-to-day basis. It's very different than like playing with them, interviewing them, talking to them. Like, there's things that you don't experience with them outside of stream, and that's what I want this to be about. Like, learning the person's personality. I don't care about the success you have on stream. Everyone's seen your success. I want to know all the failures you had. I want to know the things that you tried that didn't work, that nobody saw because you deleted the YouTube video. Yeah. I want to know the little things, right? And I think that's where my degree and like me as a person like trying to find the truth comes from. And I think that's why this will be very interesting to do.
If anyone's interested, there's definitely like highlights and clips on my channel of like when I first started. And it's like interesting to watch. It's a very different, like there's some core things that are there, but it's a very different
like atmosphere almost.
Yeah, it's a different person. Yeah, totally.
Well, because it's like you're not as natural. You don't feel as normal on the screen. Like, I thought that this light being here would be like my downfall because it's like so bright when I first got it. But I'm like, damn, I've learned to kind of adapt it and play around with my lighting, and it feels so natural having it there. Like, when I turn off all my lights and I go to bed, I'm like, it feels weird sometimes, you know?
Yeah, dude.
It feels so natural having it on now.
My lights for my setup are like the lights for my room now. It's kind of weird.
I know, and like it's come together. So like my favorite thing about people is that they take what they started off streaming with, whether it's the camera overlay, the stuff in the background of their stream, their camera setup, like, or their microphone setup, whatever it is, but like they keep it always. So like that's why my starting scene is the first starting scene I ever created, but then there's new stuff behind it. Like it starts off as like the shitty thing that I threw together a year ago, right? You getting old over there? What's going on? Gotta get a little stretch stream on.
I didn't stretch this morning and I worked all day yesterday and it hurts. Okay, I'm good. I'm chill.
But if nothing else, I'm gonna be taking a small pee break. I don't know if you're playing Warzone or what the plan is for you, big guy. But I was gonna I'm tapping it off there. No one's got any questions. Nobody got any big things. So that concludes the interview for me. I appreciate you having on here. It was really cool.
Thanks for having me.
One of the cool ideas that me and Chris talked about, and then Dakota talked about as well, is do you know any lurkers in chat that sub every month that they're part of the community, but they don't type very often. They're very lurky. They just kind of do their thing and they say hi maybe and they leave. Do you know anybody like that off the top of your head?
There's a couple. Yeah. What's interesting is my chat app, Chatty. There's a subscribers panel, right? And I can I don't know how it sorts subscribers. I think it's actually showing me the people that are that are not gifted, that like the subs.
Oh, like they actually sub from their own monthly thing or whatever. Yeah.
And there's one person that I see in people's chats that used to come in all the time. I've seen them in like big streamers chats. They've been subbed. I don't see the resub noti ever, and I stream a lot.
So it's like an off stream kind of thing. Yeah.
I don't know, dude. They're always on the sub list. Very rarely come in and say hello. D1NME. I have no who idea that is.
What a big
I
thank
thought
you.
they were like one of my IRL people that like are always here. Then there's a couple IRLs, like
Right,
NM
right.
Scripty is like a script supervisor I work with who streams. There's a Terribly Timid is a dude that I used to skate with back in the day.
Oh, that's true. Lunar's right. You don't have to, or Lucy's right.
Yeah,
You don't have to show it.
exactly. You don't have to show it. But that's what I mean. Like there's those 3 people that I just mentioned are always subbed. Never see them hit the sub noti.
So one of my ideas that Chris had was to interview a lurker and get their idea of like, why do you support certain people? Why do you only lurk? Are you busy in your free time? Are you not busy? Just to get a different perspective.
Text,
huh?
Because they're probably not going to want to talk on.
No, I would definitely have to do it off stream. Absolutely. Because it would be like, I don't know. There's a reason why they're lurking, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it would just be cool to get some more insight, even if it's not a video, even if it's not content, whatever the hell it is. Like getting that insight of like why you're a lurker, what do you do in your free time? It'd be really, really, I don't know, interesting to me, very knowledgeable to get that out of somebody. So I've been trying, and it's hard to do. It's like, how do you ask somebody to come be on a stream to like talk about why you're a lurker? It's like there's a reason why you're a lurker. So I've thought about it. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it, but that's kind of like in the back of my head after a couple of streamers and content creators picking their brains and then going on from there. Because again, I'm still very small with this kind of thing. I'm tweaking things out and I'm making it kind of work. I've thought about like Savage 2C would be really interesting to have. I know he's very vocal about his personality. I'd love to do Expel to give back to his incredible donations from last Christmas. Little things like that would just be very interesting to pick their brains, because it's not every day you get to talk about mental health on a stream. Not everybody brings it. It's a hard thing to bring up on a topic. Or just like their insight of life and what they did, how they got to this position. Did they even want to stream 5 years ago? Why did they start streaming? Like little things like that you just don't hear on stream. You don't get to know your favorite streamer. So that's kind of like my idea with taking my degree and then taking streaming and putting it together for this, because I don't think anybody else is doing something like this. I know there's podcasts, but I don't think there's like an interview with streamer format kind of thing.
Yeah, keep doing it.
So I'm really excited for it. But if nothing else, I appreciate you being on this. This is amazing.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude.
And if you're gaming, I'll be back on in like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes after I take a little break.
I am indeed gaming.
Let's do it. I'm down. But thank you so much, Jesse. You have a good one.
Toodles, bye.
Bye. All right, chat. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for another awesome thing. This is going to be a weird screen for a second because I don't have the camera on. So I'm going to take a small BRB break. Thank you guys so much for being on here. Jesse's going to go live in just a second here. I'm going to take a BRB break. Going to pee, get out of the onesie. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'll be right back. Mwah.